What's up, nerds? Mandalore from Mighty Wallet's going to be going over some of my favorite plug-and-play tunes. Tunes that don't necessarily need to synergize with whatever team they are on, and are nonetheless extremely impactful and very, very useful utility tunes. Thrawn, Yoda, Wampa, Nest, and Zarriss. You need to have at least these five in your Grand Arena arsenal. If not, get to it now. We'll start off with Thrawn. Modding, really, speed is the only thing that really matters. Whatever offset you can get on him really doesn't make a whole lot of a difference. He's there for speed, so you can get the fracture up, and you can get that turn meter swap and protection buff. Speed, that's it. He's a pretty quick tune. Again, Fracture, probably still one of the best abilities in the entire game. And then the Grand Admiral's Command, the turn meter swap with the protection up, and the Dispel. Super, super key abilities. Going on to Yoda, obviously he's a healer, he's a non-combatant, he's conscientious objector. Mine's stupid fast, but you want your Yoda as fast as possible. I actually G13 mine just so I could take some speed off of him. Master's training is huge. Huge. Doesn't even have to be on Jedi. Makes a huge difference. Those buffs, even on a non-Jedi, are just incredible. Obviously, the group AoE heal equalizer, super key. Wampa, little bit less of a utility tune than he used to be, slightly less impactful, nonetheless very important. I have mine with crit damage and crit chance. Icebreaker for that AoE daze is huge against many different teams. There are a lot of assist counter teams. Daze makes a difference. Mine's kind of faster than he needs to be. Lot less tenacity than I would like him to have. I had to steal some of his mods for Marauder and Jedi Knight Anakin. He doesn't hit as hard as he used to, but still useful and impactful when used appropriately. Nest, probably one of my favorite tunes in the game. My good buddy Clash, I think Nest is hands down his favorite tune in the game. At G13, she's a savage. At 12, she's still very, very good, better than most. You want to mod her for tenacity. You want really over 100% tenacity at a bare minimum. This kinetic charge, again, a AoE daze, and then TMR, turn meter removal, really key. And then her Zeta, also pretty important. The counter chance keeps her healed. So if she's tenacious, she's much harder to stun or daze herself, which was really, really where she shines. Lots of people, even within the top 10 guilds in the game, struggle with a properly modded Nest without the right comp to go against it. A lot of people just kind of default to using Traya whenever they see a really well modded Nest, because it's just easier. It's much easier to annihilate Nest and not have to worry about, getting tenacity down on her to stun. Moving on to Zarriss, you mod her for full health. Obviously, most people know Zarriss. She's a pain in the balls, going back to all the way back to that GK Zarriss arena team that everyone had. Yeah, her passive is great. Anyone that gets crit obviously heals up. She's got the equalizer also, so it's not affected by the healing buffs or debuffs. She doesn't need a whole lot of speed. She really is just there to stay alive and keep everybody else alive. So I'm going to show you a few, and by a few I mean a number of teams where these tunes make a huge difference. Night Sisters with Zarriss makes CLS a lot harder to go after it. It's a real pain. Likewise with KRU Zarriss, keeps KRU from being Ewoked. If you see there, the third one, my Padme Galactic Republic team, that is my preferred Darth Revan non-mirror counter. A lot of people use C-3PO. If it works for you, that's fine. Doesn't really work for me. I prefer Zarriss. If you've seen some of my videos, she one-shots dudes and chicks. Love her in that team. I've even seen this really strange Vandor Chewbacca team with Zarriss as the lead. It's really annoying. Luckily, I don't see it that often, but it is very, very annoying. It's very good. It's designed as a timeout team. Moving down the line, switching over to Nest, same thing, plug and play right there. NS and crew again. Likewise, Nest just makes these two teams super annoying. Karth Nest also super, super annoying. Again, most people, not most, but a lot of people in the top 10 guilds still struggle with Nest. I usually will throw her on defense in Grand Arena just because she's a colossal pain. Again, if you have her modded properly for tenacity, it's really hard to stun her or daze her. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of these bounty hunter Nest teams too. A lot of times that tries to force a Traya. Again, yeah, Traya's, most people will just default to trying to use the triumvirate to kill whatever team has Nest on it because she's just so annoying. Same thing with a Kira team. Kira Nest is a great team. Moving down to Wampas, I've seen fewer of these lately. They do still exist. Same thing, KRU with Wampa. It's kind of like a poor man's KRU Nest. Karth, Old Republic, Wampa, same thing. Just putting Wampa there in place of Nest. And then one of my favorite teams, the Rex Wampa team. This one doesn't have, I have Sunfak in here instead of GAT. You don't need GAT, but this Rex Wampa Zarriss team is able to take down a CLS team, which on D especially, when you have Han going first, he could very easily take someone out, but with Zarriss in there, she manages to keep your guys alive. Obviously, you're not going to finish this one with full protection for Grand Arena, but winning 5-0, I'll take that any day, especially if someone throws a CLS on D. So yeah, that's a great team, and none of those 5 Toons have synergy with each other, so it shouldn't work, but because there are plug-and-play Toons on that, it really makes a difference. Going down to this Jedi Knight Revan team, again, Thrawn, no synergy with any of these Jedi, but because of the fracture, he's really good at crowd control. This is the probably more common Darth Revan counter that most people are seeing in Arena. For those who don't have Darth Revan or don't have Padme, this is obviously the only viable option. And it works. You fracture Revan, you get out in front, you fracture Darth Revan, keep him out of the game for a little bit, take down some of the other Toons. It still works. Obviously, gear and modding matchups are of paramount importance, but it definitely works. There's no synergy between Thrawn and the rest of these Toons. He's just an excellent plug-and-play character, so he enables you to win a match that you otherwise probably or are unlikely to win. Yeah, so you see here, just all you gotta do is fracture Malak, keep that crowd control going, and it enables you, hopefully, to win the match. Come on, let's just finish him off. See you later. Okay. Next, we'll move down the line. Okay. This is less of a, well, I guess a more obvious option is the Thrawn Troopers. Obviously, they're all Empire, but there isn't actually really any trooper synergy with them. Again, Thrawn just enables you to crowd control. I use that a lot on Kira teams. And then this team, way back in the day, which was a Wednesday, I used to use this team to beat Jedi Knight Revan, when Jedi Knight Revan was on top anyway. This was my non-mirror counter. This was my go-to. And again, sure, the 3 resistance Toons all have synergy. I actually have SRP in here, but you could have also used Nest. And then Thrawn, though 2 of those 5 characters don't synergize, really. Not on paper anyway, but here you go. This was my go-to Jedi Knight Rev encounter for a good long while before Darth Revan came out. And again, with modding and gear matchups, it still works. You could throw Nest in there for, instead of SRP, again, a high tenacity Nest, and you can do it. This one, actually, some people might comment, oh, but it has Ezra. Ezra and Basila together actually make this harder, but it's definitely still doable. So just keep on showcasing how some of these tunes really are plug and play. This bottom one, the Bounty Hunters and Thrawn, I use that in Geonosis TB. It actually is a lot better than a full Bounty Hunter team. Again, for the same reason, Thrawn there to crowd control, TM swap, add some protection. I actually used this very strange looking Karth team in Grand Arena for a while. It actually did well. I did actually get a couple of holds with it. It doesn't look like it should work at all. Obviously, it is still counterable, but having Yoda in there cleansing and healing, and then getting Master's Training, especially when it gets up on Zalbar, it's really nice. Also when it gets up on Canderous. And then that NS team I haven't really tried out much, but it definitely does work. Not as effective as the Zarriss team. Going back to this team, I got the J-Ray, Nest, and then Yoda. I also actually have tried this team out. It works just as well with Nest and Yoda instead of GAT. Here you go, I'll show you. I love Nest on this team. In my previous video, you saw SRP, and that's just because I could reallocate Nest somewhere else. But it still works. Don't even need GAT's Fracture for crowd control. You got Yoda, you got a properly modded Nest. Sure, she'll take a bunch of hits and she's almost dead there, but that protection up, she's staying alive. And then you got Yoda in there. He'll heal her. Nest, see, she's still kicking. This one's a little bit tougher without Thrawn because you don't have that crowd control, but it still works. You get that Master's Training up, it'll keep Nest alive. So this was an alternate Jedi Knight Rev encounter, again, before Darth Revan and all of them came out. Still worked, a little bit harder, you see. You just gotta get the momentum going, pick away at these Jedi bit by bit, and it works. Jedi Training Rey, super versatile team, I should say, because she doesn't really work outside of resistance, or at least a majority resistance team. But it goes to show you, Yoda and Nest, they don't have any resistance synergy. They're just super OP plug-and-play tunes that can enable you, see again, Nest didn't die, that enable you to beat teams that you otherwise really shouldn't be beating. And there goes GK, and then we're going to go pick on Jolie, and once again, Nest heals up. That's why that tenacity is really important, so she doesn't get stunned, she doesn't get dazed, she counters, and then she heals up. So I encourage you, all of you, to not only level gear and mod these tunes, but to play around with them, plug them into other teams. I found that Jedi Rey SRP or Nest GAT team, and this is before 3PO came out, I found that pretty much by accident. I was just testing, and I'm like, well, what if I throw GAT and Nest in here, and I keep a soft taunt on Nest? And it works because they're plug-and-play tunes. So play around with these plug-and-play tunes. You'd be really surprised at just how versatile they really are. They work on a lot of different teams, so make sure that every Grand Arena you're using all 5 of these tunes one way or another, either on defense or on offense. They really, really, really make a difference, and you really stand to benefit from knowing their kits, gearing them, modding them properly, and using them in any number of different situations. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe and share, and don't forget to whale harder.